My best friend had done a genetic testing kit from home and was found to be predisposed to type 2 diabetes. I'd just like to go into some detail and explain to her kind of what that means and what that would entail for her future. There's a lot of other factors besides just genetics that go into type 2 diabetes, and there's a lot of other environmental things that could affect her chances of getting diabetes, but the genetic factors that link those environmental factors to the predisposition of diabetes are obviously more prevalent for her because she has a family history, obviously along the line somewhere. So I would kind of just go into detail with her about what that stuff means and things that she can do to kind of prevent getting type 2 diabetes. By letting her know that some of those predisposition factors are weight, exercise, and lifestyle. Obviously, those people that are more overweight and who exercise less and have more of a sedentary lifestyle are more at risk for getting diabetes just because of their weight and just the availability of their body to break down glucose. Stress and age have also been factors that have led to increased chances of diabetes. So I would just kind of let her know, obviously, to monitor her stress levels and just kind of watch her sugars as she ages, just since she is predisposed to getting type 2 diabetes. Obviously, genetics plays a huge factor in it. They also link, because genetics is like, there's multiple genes that affect getting type 2 diabetes. Obviously, the ones like that are related to weight and things like that, as far as also environmental, just what do you eat, who are you with, the people that you're around, how do you guys behave, like if you eat a lot of sugary foods, if you eat a lot of carb loaded foods, things like that. And then they've also seen some link from birth weight. High and low birth weight have been associated to increased risk of type 2 diabetes. So I kind of just go through that with her and let her know that those are kind of some of the things that could increase her chances of getting type 2 diabetes. And then kind of just dive into what the genetics part of that looks like. She is my best friend. I would obviously like to kind of encourage that obviously there are environmental factors, and let her know like monitoring those factors are going to be her best chance at preventing herself from getting the type 2 diabetes. But I do want to let her know the genetics behind it and kind of how likely she is to get diabetes. There's an article that was just saying if you have one parent with type 2 diabetes, your chances of getting type 2 diabetes are 40% higher than that of someone who has no family history. And as you can see, both parents with type 2 diabetes increases that to 70%. And then if there's even just any first degree relatives with type 2 diabetes, you're 3 times more likely than someone who has no family history to get type 2 diabetes. And there are other things that factor into that, like your increased risk for obesity if your family and your parents are obese, things like that. You have the other environmental factors that play into that. And like I said earlier, this is a polygenetic disorder. So 95% of the cases are because there's more than one more gene that's factored into it, such as those that control weight and those that control cholesterol and things like that. So I would just make sure that she knows that and knows that there is an increased risk for her as opposed to somebody who doesn't, and that it's a good thing that she knows that she has that risk, because then she's able to kind of watch these other factors and monitor her sugars and catch it early if there was anything that showed that she was getting type 2 diabetes, and maybe she could get her exercising and weight and diet back under control and maybe prevent herself from having further issues with that.